Hello and welcome to the very first, hopefully, of our new series of videos. This is where we do some additional content. So you get some extra stuff apart from the regular shows. If you've not seen the show, you must have. You've found us here. Vape Talk UK is every Tuesday, around about 8-ish, kind of 8-ish, for a couple of hours, 8 till 10, where we just talk about vaguely vaping related stuff. So yeah, we do that, and if you don't know, I'm going to promote it, definitely. The vaguely vaping related podcast. That's what I normally do. So apologies about any technical issues, video wise or otherwise, because I'm so not used to doing video. I don't do video, I do audio stuff. So my kit, my setup isn't geared particularly towards video. All I got was a webcam so I could do VT UK on a Tuesday night. Yeah, apologies, I'm not used to doing video. Well, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, get the Vaguely Vaping Related podcast, download it from all your usual podcast sources. Fortnightly podcast, it's me and Jimmy Parker and guests. So we just, again, we gas, we talk about vaguely vaping related stuff. Go, yeah, have a look. So what I'm going to be doing in this additional content is I'm going to be doing some reviews of stuff, and just if I feel like it, I'll just release me talking about something that's caught my ear, and I just fancy venting about it on my own without Mark, Chris or Kaz interrupting me. So this is my soapbox. This is my soapbox. This is where I get to talk and no one can interrupt me. It's great. Okay, so let's calm down. What have I got for you today? I have got something rather special. Don't get excited about this. I don't know how often I'll be able to get stuff out for review, but I'm going to do a review for you. I managed to get a pre-release, although to be fair, when I got it, it's on general release, so it's not necessarily the newest thing out on the block now. But I have got a Smok Species V2. And I just thought I'd give you my little thoughts. I'm going to blatantly rip off absolutely everyone, every vape reviewer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do an unboxing. So we're going to get down up close and we're going to do a bit of an unboxing. I'll show you what's in the box. I'll show you all the bits and pieces and how it all goes together. Have a little quick tour through the menu system, stuff like that. And then we'll come back up here and I'll tell you what I think. What do you reckon? Should we give it a go? I've never done this before. It's going to be fun! So this is it. This is the Smok Species V2. This is the kit that you get with it. So the box, I've gone for the black and the red one. You've got the usual gubbins around here. It also gives you some information about the two new coils that you get with the V2. Just a little bit of information about what you get in it. So there we have the mod. Let's have a look what else we got on the side. Pull on this. There we go. We've got the usual little warranty card, battery safety info, and the manual. Now I was a little bit disappointed with this manual compared to previous Smok manuals. As you can see, it's quite a substantial little book of quite a few pages, but all the information it gives you is a quick guide. And look, for the full version of the manual, go onto the Smok website. Well, I mean, with this amount of paper and the simplicity of the mod, which I'm going to go into in a minute, why the hell have we not got a full manual? It just gives you a little bit of a click on and off. 5 times to get it on, 5 times to turn it off. What else have we got in here? USB cable. Yeah, got about 500 of those in a drawer. Spares bag, spare gasket for the tank, all important, and some O-rings. And here, look at the size of that bad boy coil. Look at that. That is the A2. So that is this second one, with the 2 coils in, 0.2 dual coils, and they look like 2 little tiny toilet rolls. And you get the tank, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't, as you can see, I've not used this yet. So we'll go into the tank in a minute, but let's have a look at the mod itself, because that is, to be honest, what I'm interested in. So this is the Species V2. The first thing that caught me with this is the size of it. It is tiny, absolutely teeny tiny. And I'm sure if you've been listening to the podcast and watching VT UK, you'll know that I've got a Smok Mini, Smok X Cube Mini, and that's what I use with my mouth to lung setup. So there we go, well scruffy. So that's my X Cube Mini, and that is the Species. Ridiculous width-wise. It's narrower. You can see straight down. It is actually narrower, definitely narrower at the bottom. And it is substantially shorter. And this one, single battery. This one, dual batteries. So, I mean, size-wise, it is absolutely dinky. I know it's a bit unfair to compare it to the X-Cube Mini, which is incredibly long in the tooth now, but it's what I've got to hand. It's small. So, batteries. Let's start with the batteries as soon as I've got it here. Look, can you see down there? I know you can see just. I thought we were getting all patriotic for a while. I thought, oh look, they've got an England flag down there and a Scottish flag. And then I realised that's not the Scottish flag. It's just blue. So, you've got white and blue, that's your negative, and the red cross is positive. So that's how you put your batteries down. You have got a positive and a negative. And it even tells you which one's A and which one's B. That's quite important when it comes back to the screen in a bit. So let's do as I'm told. So positive down. So that should say negative at the top, which it does. Negative down. There's my battery. Positive, negative. And literally push till it clicks. And you're in. There we go. Now the switch. Right, seeing as the first thing we're going to start with is the switch to turn it on. The switch is the switch. Same as the X Cube Mini, you've got the bar. This is very familiar with Smok, with the privs, everything there. Smok do like having the entire side as their switch, and I quite like having that as a switch. Now this one, you'll find the switch is under there. You can feel the click is here. So that's where it is. The switch is. So if I push down here, nothing happens until I get about there, and it's a bit of a push. So you do find that you're firing it at the top, but you don't have to worry so much, and it is a nice grip. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I always do 6. I don't know why I have to do 6 to get it to come on, but there we go. 5 clicks on, Species, and there we go. There's the screen. This is the screen. It comes on. The other thing, you've got your centre 510. 510's nicely in the centre. You've only got one button on the front. If you click that button, it turns the screen off. And then when you fire, no screen. And I think that is absolutely genius. When you're vaping, why do you want the screen to keep flashing on? And if you're in the dark, it always bugs me. You try and fire it and you've got this glowing screen on in front of you. So quick click, screen's gone off, and you can vape away and the screen won't come on, which puts it straight into stealth mode. Quick click, screen comes back on again. Can you see the lock right at the top? It's probably not very clear. So you've got that lock symbol right at the top. If you press and hold the button, the lock goes, and then all of a sudden you're into touch screen. You've got this ring here. There's a little red line. I know it's difficult to see in this light, but as you press that and it goes up, that red line scoots around. Now I think Smok missed out slightly on here, because the first thing I tried to do was put my finger on the negative and spin my finger around to try and whip it right the way around to the full 230 watts. But it doesn't do that. It's literally an up, 230 watts, and a down. And that'll take it right the way down. What does it take it down to? I haven't looked. 1 watt, all the way down. Now then, menu system. Top left, if you can see here, there's 4 squares. Into the menu system, you've got 4 options. This is so simple, this mod. Tap the top, which is a little pipe, puff counter. On the left, this is the one that you'll be using the most. So this is variable voltage, or tap it, and it puts you into temperature control. You've got your temp control options, and you've got your choices between titanium, nickel, stainless steel. You can change TCR, you can change your wattage as to what it fires at. If you're in your variable wattage, you've got your preheat options as well, which you've had with Smok for ages. Soft, normal, hard, max, that will give you that little extra boost at the beginning, which I quite like. You've got screen options.
So I can change the colour of the lovely icons to match whatever colour mod you've got. I'm leaving it on red because it matches the red mod. Your final option is your settings, and that's literally just resetting your resistance, factory reset, and what was the other one? Power off. Tap power off gives you a yes or a no, and it does that when you 5-click it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Power off. Yes or no. Why? Why does it do that? If I'm clicking it 5 times, I want it to power off. So yeah, 5 times, power off, click yes, and it'll turn off. The other function you've got is if you tap it 3 times, 1, 2, 3, fire key locks. So effectively it's locked, but you've still got access to the key, to the screen. Now the thing is, when it's locked, the only thing you can do is put the screen to sleep. If you try and access the screen, nothing happens. You have to unlock the fire key. Right, so that's the mod. It is so simple. There is nothing fancy in here. You've got temperature control, variable voltage, and you're off and away. So this is the, what is it called? The Species Kit. And what is the tank itself called if you're buying the tank on its own? TFV Mini V2. Now, TFV Mini V2, and I haven't played with this other than to find out that there is a lock on here, because I had a TFV4, and the TFV4 you had to have a rubber ring around up here to stop it opening up once you've shut it. Otherwise it would just swing open and you'd end up with juice in your pocket. This has got this little click button here, little tiny button, which stops it from swinging around and opening unless you push the button in. So that's quite a nice little extra. To be honest, I've not looked at the TFV princes or anything like that, so it's probably been on there a while, but that is pretty useful. So let's try unscrewing, having a look, and God, that's tough. You watch me break it, as you're not supposed to do that. There's your glass. Oh, lovely. Oh, look, it's got that wonderful, wonderful, extra thick glass that we're all going to use, presumably to make it TPD compliant. I mean, look at this. If that's on there, with the size of that coil, no room for juice in there whatsoever. Yeah, definitely. Did it come with a spare glass? Let me guess. No. No spare glass. So, when you get this tank, you get this tank and you get the stupid extra fat glass. Smok, what the hell? That is of no use or ornament. So the first thing I've got to do in order to use this Atty is buy either a straight or a bubble glass to go with it. So that's another expense that you've got to put on top. So I just wanted to get that out there. There is not a spare glass in the box. I don't think there is. No, I've emptied the box. Yeah. Okay. Looks like I'm stuck with that coil in there and a ridiculously fat glass. Wonderful. Okay, I'm not faffing about with that anymore on camera. Now, I'm assuming this is going to be something similar to the Falcon that I've already got. First impressions at the moment, Smok, are not wonderful, because at least with the Falcon I was able to take the coil out, whereas at the moment that A1 coil, I'm just going to have another go because that's bugging me. No, that is not coming out. Right. Okay. That's it. I mainly got it for the mod, to be fair, not the tank, because I've got a Falcon. Don't use it all that often. It's nice, don't get me wrong, it's just not my kind of vaping. And I thought, I'll save this for another time, but if I can't get the smegging coil out. Right, so let's go back up top, and I'll tell you my thoughts, and let you know to see if I got the coil out.
Okay, so I did have a few little issues with the coil in the atomizer. I had to get it out, basically. What I had to do was I jammed it in a door frame. Jammed it in a door frame, gave it a bit of a twist, and out it came. As soon as I've got it out, no issues, so I can get the coil in. It was just a little bit tight in there from the box, which isn't good, because if I couldn't do it with pliers. I had to jam it in a door frame. I hadn't got a I haven't got a vice. If you've got a vice, no problem. Vice, off. They are, no problem. But yeah, jammed it in the door frame, gave it a twist, off it came. So what do I think of this tank? I think of this tank, biggest con with this is the TPD glass. It comes with ridiculously thick TPD glass. And yeah, I know why they're doing it. It's TPD. It's the thing. So they've got to have a 2mm tank, but I know so many other manufacturers that provide spare glass in with the atomizer, and you just whip out the TPD glass, chuck it in the bin, and you're off and away. I am sure when this comes to market that vendors will be selling this with spare glass, I'm sure, because this with a bubble glass on it will be pretty damn good. I'm not giving anything away. I quite like it. This is it's not my usual vape. It's a bit airy for me. And what I do like is you can adjust the airflow on the tank. So while it's on the Atty, the airflow does move. It doesn't lock it down when it's on there, and it's got a nice resistance to it. As you're turning it, you can just feel it. It will stay in place. It won't move if you knock it. I usually rock it about like so, and that gives me quite a nice vape on there. Yep, cloudy, pretty cloudy, and if I chuck it open all the way, actually it's quite fun. I quite enjoy that. So I do like. Am I going to use it all the time? No, I'm not going to use it all the time, but every now and again when I fancy chucking some clouds, that is going to come out. And do you know what? The only other Atty I've got to compare it to is the Falcon with the Falcon mesh coils. And I prefer this to the Falcon. Sorry. It's quieter than the Falcon. It's not quite so noisy. If you like a bit of a as you're vaping, as you can hear, it's not quiet. I have got the Falcon here. I wonder if I can just give that a quick blast near the microphone and see if it works. Performance-wise, very, very similar. Very similar. It's mesh coils too. Very little to split between them. I personally, sorry, prefer the Smok. I prefer Smok. Shit, don't believe I said that. I prefer Smok. Much smoother draw. I've got the A2 coils, the one that's got dual coils in. The one, those ones. There you go. So it's the A2 coils I've got in there at the moment. Lovely flavour on it. Really good flavour, especially for a cloudy device. Very impressed. Airy, smooth airflow, which is good for a tank of this size, cloudy thing. Just doesn't come with that bubble glass. I just need more capacity in it. So yeah, bit more. I'm sure vendors will be selling this with spare glass. You'll be able to buy bubble glass for it, but as it stands, it just runs out in about, if you get half an hour's vaping out of it, you're doing pretty damn well. See the mod itself. Let's go through some pros and cons with it really, really quickly. I think it's quite well built. Smok have got a reputation for not the world's best build quality. Let's get that out there. However, this feels really substantial in the hand. I've had this a week and there is a slight, I very much doubt it's going to show up on camera, a very slight scratch just there that I've noticed from using it. But other than that, nothing. And I've had this in my pocket I've been using it solidly for a week or two. It's had the saver on top. I've been using it primarily as mouth to lung, mainly because I actually think it looks pretty good. But I mean, you know, that doesn't look half bad, does it? Dual battery life, mouth to lung, 12.5 watts. I'm really pushing this Smok 230 watt mod, but battery life lasts me 2-3 days before I need to charge it, mouth to lung. Awesome. Obviously you're running this 80-100 watts with the stock coils in the tank. It ain't gonna last you a full day. That's because you're running a 0.19 coil or a 0.17 on the A1 coil. So yeah, it's taking some current out. Just be aware if you are running the 0.7, you want to make sure you've got half decent batteries in your regulated mod. You don't want to be running low amp batteries. You want the high drain batteries in there. The button, I like the button. It's a squeeze to fire, although so when you've got it, squeeze fire is how I use it. You can press it nice and clicky with a single finger, but I like the squeeze action. I like a bit of squeeze. And one other thing I like, referring to the battery life, you've got this button here. You have to press and hold it before that red lock comes off, and you can do the touch screen malarkey. But if you just give it a quick single tap, screen off, and screen doesn't come back on again until you push that button. So I set it at what I want, knock it so the screen goes off, and that's it all day. You don't need it. The screen never comes on, so there's no screen battery drain. The screen is not draining the battery every time you press the fire button. It doesn't turn the screen on, so there's no additional drain on the battery, which I think is probably helping with with how good it is with the batteries. It's really simple, dead simple to use, dead simple. There is nothing fancy in here with the menu system. You've literally got puff counter at the top that nobody's going to use. You've got your screen settings at the bottom, which is just changing the time that the screen's on and the colours. So those two are going to get very little use because once you've set it, you've done it. On the right, you've got your settings, and the settings in there is setting your resistance. You can change your resistance if you want to. Factory reset and power off. The one that you're going to be using on this side, you're just changing between variable wattage, temp control, and you've got the preheat options, not soft, normal, hard, and max. So that just gives it an extra little boost in the first half a second, just to boost it up. These coils don't need it. Press the button, it fires straight away. I'm not used to. I'm used to building my own coils. It's got a bit of ramp up time. Really good. Cons. I haven't done any cons. Cons. The screen, if it's on, and you click it and it comes on, it keeps coming on all the time. I've turned the screen time down. It was on quite high. It was on about 50 seconds, I think. It stayed on quite a long while. That's obviously going to be draining the battery. Turn it off. But they fixed it. All you have to do is click that button. So it's a bit of a picky con that the screen keeps coming on. The other con is it's really simple to use. I know that I use that as a pro. I'm sorry. It is really simple. There is nothing extra in it. You've got no bells and whistles. Some people will want bells and whistles. There's no clock. Where's a clock? Why can't you have a clock on a mod? I like clocks on mods, especially if you've got a screen like that. Why is there no clock or anything like that? You can't change the background. You can't do anything on there. And they could have done something slightly different with the screen. I think because of the way you've got that round thing, you could have touch screened, dragged it round to get quickly from 0 to 230 to back again. But you haven't. It's literally a 2-button operation. It could have done that. You could have had 2 buttons and one up here for your settings. The screen's a little bit of a gimmick. There you go. Smok Species V2. That's my opinion of that. It's a good mod. It's Smok, but I like it, and I'm going to use it. It's going to be coming around because it is just so small. It is tiny for a dual battery regulated mod. So thank you very much for watching this. The first of our VT UK additional content. Don't forget the VT UK live show is on every Tuesday at 8-ish on YouTube. Obviously, if you're watching this, you've found the channel. Subscribe. Click the subscribe to get notifications of when we're going live. 2 hours, 8 o'clock-ish on Tuesday evenings. If you can't manage to watch us live, come and watch us on catch-up. One of these days, we will actually not have any technical issues. And just because I am going to plug it, because I do, the Vaguely Vaping-related podcast, it's... just search for Vaguely Vaping related podcast on any of your favourite podcast player. Hopefully you should find us. We're once a fortnight and we just talk shit and we have guests on. There you go. Because I don't want you watching YouTube videos while you're driving your car. You might crash and die. Podcast, it's audio. You can listen to that in the car. It's good. It's fine. That's fine. Right. Thank you very much for watching. That was my review of the Smok Species V2. That's it. The Smok.